Hello everyone and welcome back to the Car Cave. Today we've got a really exciting video thanks to the generosity of the Toyota of Riverside dealership, specifically their salesman Cedric Jackson. We got access to the new XK70 generation of the Toyota Tundra. So that's all new for 2022. So big thank you to them. If you're looking for a new Toyota or just a nice place to get your Toyota serviced, I highly recommend the Toyota of Riverside. Now, onto the Tundra. Today's video is going to be a bit of a comparison between the new XK70 generation and the outgoing XK50, as well as talking through some of the features that the new XK70 offers. Now, the XK50 has been around for quite some time. It came out in 2007, right after Stonehenge was just finishing construction, and around the same time that Spider-Man 3 was coming out. So it's been around for quite some time. It's definitely due for a refresh. So I'm very excited to dive into this new truck. So starting from the very basic, the new Tundra has a new boxed steel frame with rear members that are double the size of the outgoing model. Now, what does that mean for you? It means that you've got improved rigidity, improved driving stability, and a greater towing capacity. The outgoing model maxed out at 10,200 pounds, and this new one is right around 12,000 pounds. So it does have much better performance there. And on the subject of performance, the outgoing model had a 5.7 liter naturally aspirated V8 that produced 381 brake horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque. That's no longer available. With the XK70, you only get a 3.7 liter V6, but it is twin turbocharged and produces 389 brake horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. So it's up on power very slightly, way up on torque. And those two turbos are also friendly to Johnny Polar Bear. They up the average fuel economy from 15 miles per gallon combined to 19 miles per gallon combined, which is still pretty bad by modern standards, but not for a pickup truck. You have to remember that this is a gigantic pickup truck, so this is a big step forward for that industry. Now, still on that subject of improved efficiency, the new Tundra has an all-new, brand-new 10-speed automatic gearbox to replace the outgoing medieval 6-speed automatic that was in the XK50 generation. So I'm sure that plays a big role in improving the efficiency. So that's also very good, and it does drive noticeably smoother than the outgoing 6-speed transmission. Now, another cool feature about the new Tundra is it has this auto leveling feature for the trunk bed. Now, when you put in heavy loads, typically the back of your bed would dip down under that weight, but it is an optional extra. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it's an optional extra, but if that option is selected, with those heavy loads, the trunk bed will level itself. It also gives you the ability to choose from 3 different levels. You've got low, medium, and high. Low is really intended to make it easier for you to load up the bed of the truck if you have heavy equipment or heavy materials that you don't want to have to lug all the way up to the top level. You can drop the level of the truck, or if your dog needs to jump in, you can make it a little bit easier for him. Normal is for regular city driving, and then you have a higher setting for those slow off-road adventures to improve that ground clearance just a tiny bit more. So another cool feature on the new Tundra is AVS, which is Adaptive Variable Suspension. Now, what this is going to do is it's a series of computers and actuators that live inside of your suspension dampers to change the stiffness and dampening of those suspension components as you're driving about to make the ride more comfortable. Now, that is an optional extra, but it definitely gives more of a luxurious feel to the truck. And on the subject of luxury, the interior of this truck is all new. It's all redesigned, and it's definitely much needed. Toyota has a habit of letting their interiors age substantially before they actually do a refresh. So this new design is very welcomed. You have a fantastic, very colorful 14-inch multimedia screen in the center console. It has everything that you could possibly need. It's got wireless Android CarPlay and Apple Auto and all of the little gadgets and gazmos that you could... Gadgets and gadgets. No gazmos, unfortunately, as far as Toyota is concerned. But I did play around with that system. It was very responsive. It was very user-friendly. And the great thing is it kind of worked like your cell phone. It's not like some of those older touchscreens that don't respond very well to touch. And the thing that I like the most is that the climate control buttons are still actual buttons. They're completely separate entities from the touchscreen. A lot of cars nowadays are having the climate control as a menu within the touchscreen, or having it as a bottom bar that you have to constantly tap on the screen to change the temperature. I personally don't like that. I feel like climate control is something you should be able to access at any given time. So it's really nice that Toyota has kept it functional and simple. Now, on the subject of the interior, a lot of the materials that you'll find, particularly in the higher trims, the 1794, the Platinum Edition, the Capstone Edition, do get a little bit bougie. You have some walnut wood trim. You've got some peeled cows that are really comfortable to sit on. So it's becoming a little bit more of a luxury truck when you move up the price range, which is a nice change because Lexus doesn't really have a pickup truck in the US. I don't know about outside of the US, but this could be a nice luxurious alternative if you need a pickup truck, but you want somewhere that's a little bit nicer to be. Now, these trucks come with so many different features and options, so I'll just highlight a couple that stood out to me. There's a nice 12.3-inch multi-information display that you could option out for instead of your traditional tachometer, and it just shows multiple informations. It's very vibrant and colorful. It's got some cool animations. You've got your wireless charging pad that you could set your phone down on. You've got a panoramic roof. You've got these fantastic, enormous center console compartment. I mean, you can fit small countries in there. And it's got the really cool little slots for the coins that literally nobody uses or has access to anymore. So that's a pretty cool feature. That's a very trucky thing to have, and having storage in your truck is crucial. So it's nice to have such an abundance of storage right under your right arm or left arm, depending on what country you're in. Okay, now on the exterior of the new Tundra, you get these new LED headlights. You get some more rugged and sleek, chiseled looking taillights, and a fantastic Tundra stamp on the back of the tailgate. You also, now on the subject of the bed rather, it's got a larger maximum payload of 1,940 pounds, which is roughly 340 chickens. Kind of depends on what metric you're using to measure. Now, in the bed, you have an optional 400-watt inverter, which is more powerful than the outgoing XK50 generation Tundra. And you also get this really cool feature that I think is really cool. It's really thoughtful. It's a little button on the rear left tail light that if you push it, it will actually lower the tailgate. So say if you're holding an unusually heavy box of Legos that you don't want to put down, you don't have to. You can just press that button with your elbow or your nose or your knee, and that'll drop the tailgate, and you can go ahead and load up your precious Legos. Now, all of the trims from the outgoing Tundra will carry over to the new one. So you're going to get the SR, the SR5, the 1794 edition, Platinum, TRD Pro, TRD Off-Road. You're going to get all of that, and you're going to get one new trim, which is the Capstone Edition. Now, the Capstone is intended to be a more luxurious, more powerful variant of the Tundra. If I'm not mistaken, it's the only version of the new Tundra that gets the I-Force 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, which is a hybrid. So it ups the power to 437 brake horsepower and the torque up to 583 pound-feet of torque. So it's a pretty substantial increase, and I do believe you get a couple more miles per gallon as well. But that is the top of the range model, and I think those start north of $70,000, which is a pretty substantial investment for what is essentially a work truck. Now, on that note, I do struggle to find something wrong with this truck. The fuel economy is the only thing I could really harp at, but then again, it is a work truck, so you can't really expect to be getting 100 miles to the gallon, because this truck has everything. I mean, everything. And it's mostly standard. Anything that's not standard is just really going to be convenience items, like those automated rocker steps that come down when you open the door, just like those Escalades have or used to have. They might still have those. They even have steps that come down from the bed of the truck. When you open the bed, that little step comes down to make it easier to climb in and out of, So its starting price is around $36,000, and for $36,000, it's pretty tough to find something that's that spacious and that practical and that well equipped. So it's a properly good buy. The real question is going to be, are you going to be able to find one at $36,000? And from what I've been seeing, it's pretty hard right now during COVID to find anything at all. And most of the dealerships are ordering the higher trim, the 1794, the Platinums. So it might be a little while before you can snag one up for $36,000. But I mean, those days are coming, and when they do, it's going to be tough to beat that value. So I'm really excited about this new Tundra. I think it's a great buy. I'd love to know what you think. If you want to leave me a comment in the comment section below, I'd love to start that discussion and see what everyone else thinks about it. That's all that I have for this video. So as I said, leave me a comment below on what you thought. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. The next video is actually going to be on a 2022 Porsche Cayman T. So I'm really excited for that one. That one should be coming out pretty soon. I've already filmed it. So we'll see you in that one. Do take care, and thank you so much.